Today, January 29th, January 30th, as you guys are seeing this, is a monumental day in college football 26 history because for the first time, I believe, since the game came out nearly 6 months ago, we've got an update that actually affects road to the college football playoff. They have updated the tiers and they've actually gone through and updated player abilities. Finally, now is it a big coincidence that, 2 weeks ago we made that video about Miami's defense and complained about, yeah, it's great you're updating the overalls and attributes, but no abilities doesn't really make too big of a difference. Now we got some ability updates. Last week with Indiana, I complained about how, for the first 5 minutes of that video, I complained about how the tiers weren't updated and Indiana being stuck in tier 3 didn't make any sense. Now the tiers are updated. I mean, obviously, yes, it is a coincidence, but I like to think we made a little bit of an impact with those too. Anyway, to show abilities, there's really not a good way to go through and show every single, updated ability, but I am going to use Miami Hurricanes as an example because the big one I pointed out here was about their wide receiver, Malachi Toney, that he was up to like a 92 overall, but had 0 abilities. Now we go look at Malachi Toney, double dip, gold cutter, platinum 360, platinum sidestep, 93 overall, 92 speed. Which this is really what's going to make a bigger difference in my opinion than if you went from 90 to 92 speed. Adding these abilities really makes this guy an absolute freak. So there's a ton of updated abilities across the board. We'll mention a few as we go through some of the teams. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to just show all the updated tiers and then pick out some of my personal favorites. We'll go over the depth charts of them, specifically in tiers 3, 4, and 5. Tiers 1 and 2. I mean, you can't go too wrong picking any of those teams. They're all going to have things that are very good about them. Just kind of depends what you're going for. So let's just take a look at the updated tier. I can't believe they waited until January 29th. I really didn't think one was coming at this point in the game. I thought the tiers were just going to be what they were. So I'm a happy guy today. I'm very excited. So in tier 1, we keep Alabama, we keep Georgia. Those make sense, those stay in tier 1, but we did move up. Indiana did jump from tier 3 to tier 1 here, 93 overall. I still don't get how you get a 93 overall with a 99 offense and a 98 defense, but hey, at least they're up at tier 1 now. LSU does stay in tier 1. Yes, they're only an 85 overall, but with the speed they have at halfback, wide receiver, their defense is insane. Them staying in tier 1 makes a ton of sense to me. Miami moves up from tier 2 to tier 1, also makes a ton of sense. That team is absolutely loaded. Notre Dame stays in tier 1, Ohio State stays in tier 1, Oregon stays in tier 1. All makes sense. All very, very good teams. Penn State, I'm actually kind of surprised they stayed in tier 1. I'm guessing just because their defense is so good, but they 100% could have moved it down. Texas stays in tier 1, but then we get 2 new additions up here to tier 1 at the end here with Texas A&M moving up from tier 2, then another jump from tier 3 to tier 1, another team we complained about at the beginning of the Indiana video, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They're 90 overall, 91 offense, and 96 defense. Just that defensive line alone makes them worthy of being a tier 1 team. So that's your brand new tier 1. And again, I do want to shout out EA. They've done a very good job this year in terms of if you're looking for a game and you're actually searching by tier, that they do a very, very good job of actually matching you up with people in that tier. So that's why actually updating these tier levels is so gosh dang important, and I'm so happy they went through and did that. So that is our new tier 1. Tier 2 has a lot of changes, where now we have the Arizona State Sun Devils, very fast offense, very good overall team. We've got the Auburn Tigers, kind of surprised to see them move up to tier 2, but we can see the overalls now are much closer together here across the tiers as well. BYU moved up to tier 2 with an 85 overall. Clemson down to a tier 2 from a tier 1. I'm surprised they moved Clemson down but didn't move Penn State down. Not sure the reasoning behind that, but it is what it is. We're okay with it. We're fine. Duke actually moves up from tier 3 to tier 2. The video tomorrow, I talk about Duke and how they are such an underrated tier 3 team that people don't use. I guess just ignore that part because they're tier 2 now, but Duke is a phenomenal team in this game. We'll go more in depth on them in the video tomorrow. Florida stays in tier 2. Illinois moves up to tier 2. Louisville moves up to tier 2. With those 2 halfbacks that they have, Louisville's offense is actually super fun. Michigan stays in tier 2. Team I'm very excited to use next year because we'll get to them in just a second. Missouri up to tier 2. Nebraska up to tier 2. This one I really don't quite understand, but it's fine, I guess. We'll move on past it. Oklahoma stays at tier 2. Another freakish defensive line. Offense very good. Oklahoma, definitely one of the best tier 2 teams now. Same with Ole Miss. And Trinidad Chambliss actually got a ton of new abilities too, and he's up to like a 92 overall. So Ole Miss, a very, very good team in this game. SMU goes up to tier 2 with their veer and shoot offense. Tennessee, also veer and shoot. 86 overall, stays in tier 2. USC going up. Utah. This is why I'm excited to use Michigan in the game next year, because if we're just taking Utah's offensive playbook and applying it to the Michigan Wolverines and Bryce Underwood, that team is going to be a blast to use. I love using Utah in this game. They're definitely a team we're going to use more once campus tour wraps up, but I'm just picturing this Utah offensive playbook with that Michigan team. I'm very excited for next year. So Utah goes up to tier 2. Washington goes up to tier 2. So a lot of, 85, let's see, 86, 85, up to an 88, all wrapped up here in tier 2 between 84 and 88 overall. Tier 3. So now we're going to get to more specific teams. We'll still kind of go through the full list, but then when we get to the team I want to talk about, we will actually go and take a look at their depth chart. So Arkansas, a very good tier 3 team. Arizona, solid. I'm fine with them. Baylor, they're definitely getting some popularity thanks to Civil in his offensive playbook he's been putting videos out on. Boise State was my favorite tier 4 team. Now with them moving up to tier 3, I don't know if I'm going to like them quite as much. We'll see. Speaking of crazy jumps, Buffalo, tier 5 team, when we just use them in campus tour, moves all the way up to tier 3. They were 100% going to be a team we were going to run tier 5 with after campus tour wraps up, but now they're up to tier 3. Now I'm not so keen on that idea. I don't know. They match up great against other tier 5 teams, even tier 4 teams. Against some of these tier 3 squads, I don't know about Buffalo anymore. Cal with Desmond James, good. Cincinnati, they were by far, in my opinion, the best overall, like from a depth chart perspective, the best tier 4 team, very pistol heavy offense. So if you like that, you'll like Cincinnati. I'm glad they moved up here to tier 3. Colorado, a very good team. Florida State, Georgia Tech, a lot of good, solid tier 3 teams. I don't think a whole lot of more of these guys changed. I think Maryland might have gone up from tier 4 to tier 3, but the team we're going to focus on here, of course, Oregon State moved up from tier 4 to tier 3. We still do have South Carolina here in tier 3. They're probably the best overall tier 3 team as of right now, with Lenora Sellers, Nick Harbor, and Dylan Stewart. The team's pretty stacked. They got a very good playbook, but if you want to run some tier 3 teams, TCU also very good, and not use South Carolina, use a team that's a little under the radar, maybe a little underrepresented. It is going to be the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now, I already did a video on their entire playbook. Now let's take a look at the depth chart of Rutgers, and I'll show you exactly why. If you want to run some tier 3 with a little bit of an under radar team, I am recommending the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They've got speed all over the field. The defense looks great. Like I said, their playbook is really good. A lot of good trips, some bunch strong offset in there, a lot of good stuff. But when we just look at the depth chart, this team's pretty freaking stacked. So quarterback, we got an 86 overall. The Greek Freak is just what I call him. Silver, step up, dot, and on time. And remember, these abilities all did get updated as well. You got a good stable of halfbacks here. 91 overall, Antoine Raymond with silver sidestep now and 91 speed. Then you got 4 more 90 speed halfbacks. So even if Raymond gets a little wear and tear or something on him, you got plenty of options for who you can put into the backfield there. Then at wide receiver, so we have got 87 overall, only an 88 speed, but 6'3" with Platinum Press Pro and 50/50 Ian Strong. A strong start to our wide receiver room. A 93 speed, DT Chef Field, double tip, cutter, 360, side step. Very, very good. We have another 89 overall with Platinum double lip, 6'6" KJ Duff, only 89 speed. But the nice thing about Rutgers, you can either keep the size at wide receiver with KJ Duff and Ian Strong, or you could sub these guys out to get a little bit more speed out in this field. We have a 92 speed Stephen Murray hiding down here, and way down here with Platinum Shifty and Silver Takeoff, Dylan Braithwaite, only 5'9", but 96 speed wide receiver. So you really have your choice of how you want to set up this wide receiver room. You can go with the Platinum double lip 6'6". You can go with the Platinum Press Pro 50/50 6'3", or we can throw 96 speed and 92 speed in these spots. Now our top 4 wide receivers are all 91 speed or faster. So very, very good wide receiver room here with the Scarlet Knights. Tight end hurting a little bit, nothing too great here. We do get a Silver Sure Hands 78 speed on Colin Weber, totally fine. That'll work. Offensive line, we're just going to kind of skip past because it doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. Now at left edge though, we are going to have a gold pocket disruptor, gold duress, Eric O'Neal. At right edge, we're going to have a bronze pocket disruptor, bronze duress on Bradley Weaver. Two guys we're hoping can get in there and get after the quarterback without sending any pressure. That's what I think I love with a lot of these teams, is if we can just, drop at 7, rush 4, and still be able to play good defense, get after the quarterback, and have something like a grip breaker on our defensive tackle to hopefully help out with the run a little bit. We're looking pretty good, and that's exactly what we got here with the Scarlet Knights. So a very, very good defensive line, a good quarterback, a really good halfback room, a really good wide receiver room. At linebackers, I don't think a ton of these guys are going to play. You could, if you wanted to, 84 speed Dariel with his bronze wrap up here. You got a hammer aftershock on Moses Walker, but I wouldn't play a ton of linebackers. Cornerbacks looking very good here too. 86 overall, Bo Masco, 5'11" blanket coverage and quick jump, 92 speed. Cam Miller, 81 overall, 91 speed, another quick jump, 6 feet tall, another 90 speed, another 89 speed, another 91 speed. And hiding down here, Michael Clayton, 6 foot tall, 93 speed. Kevin Levy, 6 foot tall, 95 speed. You could put Braithwaite out there if you really wanted to. I wouldn't, because he's 5'9", and we have enough speed in our other corners. We don't need to throw a wide receiver out there. So you could, another one you could kind of set up however you want. If you want the higher overall, I would keep Masco out there just because of his blanket coverage. A quick jump doesn't do a ton for me as somebody who never blitzes a slot corner anyway. So you could put Clayton or Kevin Levy out on the outside. You could use Miller as your slot corner. If you really just want speed, you could put Clayton or Levy as both of your outside corners, and then use Mascow as your slot corner. You got a lot of options. Again, much like we saw with the wide receiver room of Rutgers, we've got a ton of options at the cornerback room. Then at safeties, we got 89 speed. You could put a corner up here if you really wanted to. I would probably keep Cadge Sanders, 74 overall, 89 speed, 6'1", 200 pounds. That's pretty good size. But if you wanted to throw like Mascow up here and then put more speed at corner, you could 100% do that. It's same thing with strong safety, but with Silver Ball Hawk, I think Elad is worth keeping in there. So a really good defensive line. Linebackers, not so much, but we have enough backup safeties that we can just put some of them down at sub linebackers into a really good secondary to pair with that offense. I think Rutgers is absolutely one of the best tier 3 teams in the entire game as of now. Now that Indiana and Texas Tech are gone, I think you can get in, run some games with Rutgers and be totally fine. And then to wrap up tier 3 here, we'll just go back down to Rutgers, just scroll through the rest of them. Yeah, South Carolina though, still probably overall the best. TCU, very good. Tulane, solid. USF, if you don't mind a little veer and shoot. And Vandy with their 89 offense. Little guy, Diego Pavea. I think they had him at 6 foot tall in like the Vanderbilt system essentially, and then at pro day he ends up being 5'9". That's a tough look for the guy. Virginia Tech with their spread offense, very, very good. Wake Forest has a few huge playmakers on that team, very good halfback. West Virginia, super fun playbook. Depth chart, not the best. So that's tier 3. We're gonna move on to tier 4, and there's actually 2 really good standout teams here. Air Force staying in tier 4 is kind of crazy, especially when we see Army and Navy both got moved down to tier 5. Not sure how Air Force survived in tier 4, but here we are. So yeah, 2 main standout teams here. I do want to give a shout out to Hawaii. The run and shoot offense is super fun. The depth chart is fine, but it is a super fun playbook to use. James Madison, a very, very good tier 4 team. They're definitely one of the top 2 or 3, probably 3, because the 2 we're going to talk about I personally like a little bit better. Memphis, also very good. Both the New Mexico squads find themselves in tier 4, but our first one we are going to focus on here is the North Texas Mean Green. 81 overall, 87 offense, 80 defense, and they were probably the biggest winners in terms of them adding abilities to their players, because like Drew Mestamaker, they made him a good overall, but never gave him any abilities until now. And this North Texas offense is bananas. For a tier 4 squad, we have a 90 overall quarterback with 83 speed, sleight of hand, platinum step up, gold dot, resistance, and on time. Tell you what, Oklahoma State is going to be a fun team come college football 27, considering almost everybody we are going to talk about here is going to be on the Cowboys next year. But Messmaker, very, very good. Halfback, Caleb Hawkins, 360 inside step now, 91 overall, 91 speed on our starting halfback, 6'2", 200 pounds too. So he is not going to be an easy guy to bring down. Wide receiver, we got some good depth here, but no like real standout breakout players. I mean, we have 87 overall, 90 speed, double dip and cutter. We have a lot of 90 You know, we have a 91 speed, but no like real top end speed like the other tier 4 team we're going to talk about here in just a second. Cameron Dorner, 83 overall, 90 speed, 6'1". Miles Coleman, 81 overall, 91 speed with sidestep, only 5'6", but that works all right for a slot receiver. Then we have a couple more 90 speeds down here, and of course Caleb Hawkins with his 91 speed. I'm not going to put him at wide receiver. We are going to go ahead and keep him at halfback. So very good quarterback, a very good halfback, just an overall solid wide receiver room, and a really good tight end, 6'3", 83 speed, Trey Williams III. So this is North Texas offense is insane. Their playbook is super fun, very air raid focus offense. Just get the ball to these guys in space and let them go to work. Now defensively, we are not going to have quite like what we saw at Rutgers. We have nothing on our edges. We have nothing on our D tackles. So we have no abilities on our defensive line. The defense isn't great. We'll just come out and say that. The North Texas defense, not the best. I don't think there's really any linebackers that are going to play. You could do Burrell here, 6 foot 213. Roberts, a great ability to have, 84 speeds, maybe a touch slow to be as a user, a sub linebacker, but he will do. At corner, again, I mean, fine. We have 84 overall with Jammer, David Fisher, 90 speed. Then hiding down here, Taylor Starling. He is only 5'9", which we don't love, but he is 91 speed. So I feel like he would have to find a spot out here somewhere. Armstead would probably be your slot corner, and then you'd have Starling here as your corner 2. So you'd have your 2 out, at least how I run almost exclusively nickel or 4-2-5. So our 2 outside corners would be 90 and 91 speed. Our slot corner would be 6'1" with 88 speed. That'll work. That'll do. We can make do with that. Free safety, Patrick Smith Young with 88 speed. Another on the shorter side. It's kind of what we've seen across this secondary. But the speed, I think, is going to help make up for that a lot. So defensively, not the best, but this offense is just unbelievable. Like, I just can't get over how good they made both Caleb Hawkins, 360 and sidestep, and with all the abilities and overall they put on Drew Messmaker. I think North Texas, definitely one of the best tier 4 teams. I have them second best in my mind. You know, I've used, as of now, 124 out of the 136 teams in this game. So there's some in these tiers that we have not used yet, like Miami of Ohio. That video is coming out Sunday. I actually still have to record that. So I'm just going off of what I remember from using all of those different teams. So that is North Texas. Let's look through the rest till we get to our next team. Shout out to Old Dominion, our online dynasty boys. Solid enough team. Colton Joseph's fine. Purdue, very good tier 4 team. San Jose State, their spread and shred offense, a little mix of the run and shoot and veer and shoot. Very interesting offense to use. Stanford, fine. Texas State, another veer and shoot team. Toledo is actually very good. Not a team we're going to talk about right now, but a team that might be worth checking out if you want to use a tier 4 team. This, in my opinion, is the best tier 4 team in the game as of right now, the UCLA Bruins. Of course, you're going to have Nico at quarterback, but just overall top to bottom, this depth chart is, they could be a tier 3 team and fit right in. They would have no problem. This UCLA team is very, very good. I did like their playbook. They're kind of air raid-ish too, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we used them. But really just looking at the depth chart, this UCLA team is bananas. Nico at quarterback, 6'6", platinum off platform, extender option king, 87 overall, 86 speed. Can certainly get out and make some plays with him if need be. Halfback, Javian Thomas, sidestep and shifty, 82 overall, 93 speed. The speed of this UCLA team is insane. There is not going to be a tier 4 team that can match up with the speed we are going to be putting on the field here with the Bruins. And the wide receiver, 91 speed, 84 overall, Gilmer, 360 and sidestep, 82 overall, 93 speed on Titus. Not going to try that last name. Double dip, sidestep, and shifty, 6'1". Another 92 speed, Mikey Matthews, 360 and sidestep. Another 91 speed with bronze cutter on Wilson. You got more speed hiding down here, 93 on Carter Shaw, 6'3", 93 speed wide receiver. Jaden Marshall, gold shifty, 6'1", 94 speed wide receiver. So if we just take out all of the guys that are under 90 speed, that leaves us 6 that are at 91 or above, topping out at 94 with a gold shifty. I like shifty in the slot, so he'd go here just for the visual representation. You actually have to put him in the slot receiver spot, and then you can kind of mix and match from here if you want. You know, you got the gold cutter on a 6'3", that's got to probably find a spot on the field somewhere. You got the sidestep shifty, you got the 360 sidestep. Like, for a tier 4 team, this wide receiver room is bananas with the speed and ability abilities we have got from top to bottom. This UCLA offense is wild. The 93 speed halfback, Nico at quarterback, and these wide receivers, unbelievable. Now at tight end, we have a 6'4", 82 speed tight end we would throw in to be our tight end one, but this offense is definitely more about the halfback and the wide receivers. Defensively, again, being tier 4, we're not going to see a whole heck of a lot here. We got a few abilities, at least. You do have an inside disruptor at your right edge. You could put him at D tackle to potentially help with some of the runs. Other than that, we don't have a ton. Linebackers, really probably none of these guys really going to play, except maybe Donovan, because he's 88 speed. He has no abilities, but he's 6'2", 215 pounds, would make for a pretty good sub linebacker. Now, much like we saw at wide receiver, we are going to see very similar at corner, which is speed everywhere. Andre Jordan Jr., 82 overall, 92 speed, 6'1" with Bronze Robber. Another 92 speed Johnson, 6 foot tall. Another 92 speed with Stafford. Another 92 speed with Kanye Clark. And oh, who's this hiding down here? How about a 99 speed Roderick Pleasant? So at corner, we have 4 92 speeds and a 99 speed. No tier 4 team is going to be able to keep up with our wide receivers, and I don't think there's really any tier 4 teams that are going to be able to burn us with this cornerback room. Like, the speed we have on just every position room on this team is insane. And even up at safeties, you have 95 speed, 6'2". Croy Stewart you can throw up there. Strong safety, we're still at 90 speed with 6'1". This UCLA team is 100% going to be my go-to tier 4 team. Like, just top to bottom, I love the depth chart. The playbook is fun. There's a lot to like about UCLA. Absolutely love that squad. So we'll look over the rest of tier 4. Then we've got, I think, just one team we're going to look at here in tier 5 that I think is almost blatantly unfair that they are in tier 5. Put your guesses below of who you think that might be. So that was UCLA. Let's go ahead, just flip through the rest of tier 4 here. UNLV, also a very good tier 4 team. Washington State's got a fun playbook, but that is it for tier 4. On to tier 5. We're gonna have the Akron Zips starting us off here. Actually a really good playbook and not that bad a team overall, and everything doesn't look great, but you could do much worse than Akron. Arkansas State, a very good playbook, and they have a waterfall in their home stadium, so if that means something to you, that's something worth looking at. Army Black Knights, see, I just don't get how Air Force stayed in tier 4. Army comes down to tier 5. Ball State, Bowling Green, a lot of MAC teams we're gonna notice going through tier 5 here. Central Michigan, a fun pistol, like triple option playbook. Their coach was the offensive line coach at Army, so they have a very similar pistol set that Army does. If you're into that sort of thing. Charlotte, a very good offensive playbook, solid enough depth chart. Coastal Carolina, Delaware, one of the most underrated offenses in the entire game is going to be the Delaware Blue Hens, at least when it comes to playbook wise. East Carolina, veer and shoot team. Eastern Michigan, more Maction. Florida Atlantic, Florida International. We are going to get to Kent State. Shout out Kent State. We did win a national title with the Golden Flashes. 70 overall, 67 offense, 66 defense. Not the worst team in the game, at least by overall. Louisiana Tech, solid. Marshall, a really, really good playbook. I actually like Marshall a ton. Miami, Ohio. So they are 76 overall, but they might be the worst team in the game. We'll see that during the campus tour that's coming out on Sunday. Their fastest corner, I think, is like 86 speed. Their defense is real bad. I don't know how their overall is so high. Middle Tennessee, Missouri State, Navy dropping down to tier 5 is insane. Their offense is still very good. Blake Horvath, I think, is still a 90 overall. They still got good backs, as long as you don't mind running a little bit of flex bone, which who would possibly mind that? The flex bone is so much fun, but their defense is horrible. It's real bad, but the offense is a ton of fun. Nevada, NIU, shout out to the Huskies, still one of the worst teams in the game. But this team right here, Oklahoma State, they are only a 74 overall. They should not be a tier 5 team. This, I think, is by far the best tier 5 team in the game after this update. This team is bananas. Let's go take a look at their depth chart. But playbook wise, you have some bunch strong or bunch halfback strong, something like that. A really overall good playbook. And let's just take a look at the depth chart. And remember, tier 5. So I would start House Henny as our quarterback 172 overall, 91 speed, shifty, and magician. Now, his throwing stats, are they the best? No, absolutely not. But with that speed, I think that makes up for quite a bit. Only 86 throw power, 75 short, 71 medium, 65 deep. But your other option, Zane Flores, it's not like he's that much better anyway. So we'll go with a 91 speed House Henny at quarterback. Now at halfback, unfortunately, we don't have Ollie Gordon anymore, but we do have Rodney Fields Jr., who's 83 overall, 90 speed, no abilities, but a more than good enough back to be able to get the job done. Really, Oklahoma State, we are going to be passing more than running the ball anyway, but Rodney Fields, very good to have in that backfield. Now we get to the wide receiver room of Oklahoma State, and I think I already moved all these guys around. But remember, tier 5 team. We have 80 overall, 92 speed, Gavin Freeman, 75 overall, 95 speed, Jalen Lloyd, 80 overall, 92 speed, 6'2", Talon Chatron with bronze shifty, and another 91 speed. We have 4 wide receivers between 91 and 95 speed on a tier 5 team. That is just unfair. That is just bananas. Like, it is just so good. And with a really good offensive playbook too, Oklahoma State is by far my favorite tier 5 team. At tight end, you got your choices here: 6'6" Josh Ford with 80 speed, or 6'3" Oscar Hammond with 81 speed. All good. All good. We're good with either one of those guys. So we got a 90 speed halfback, we got a lot of fast receivers, we got some abilities on our receivers, we got a 91 speed quarterback. Oklahoma State, very, very good just from an offensive point of view. And then at left edge, we have a pocket disruptor to rest on Kyron Duhan. I think that's it across our defensive line. We do have an outside disruptor here on a Sam linebacker, but yeah, that's really it for your defensive line. But even that is good for a tier 5 team. Any tier 5 team with abilities on our defensive line, we'll take it. We're happy with that. We got some speed at linebacker that you could put at sub linebacker with like Jacoby Oliphant Jr., 6'4", 215, 85 speed. You could do so much worse than that. Then at corner, more speed for you. 93 speed, 84 overall with gold quick jump, Jalen Davies. 94 speed, 6 foot tall, J.K. Johnson. Pretty dang good to have our 2 outside corners. This is a lot like what we saw with UCLA when talking about tier 4. We have the speed on offense to outrun your defense. We've got the speed on defense that you're not going to outrun our corners. And having that combination, believe it or not, a very, very good thing. Then at slot, you could put kind of whoever you want. I'd probably just go with Cam Smith because he's 6 foot tall and the highest overall option up here. At free safety, 74 overall, 88 speed, Dylan Smith, or you could go with, I'd probably put David Kabongo up there just because he's got that robber ability, and then Smith could come down and be a sub linebacker for us. Strong safety, we got 91 speed, Mordecai McDaniel. What a fantastic name on that guy. And he's 6'1" with 91 speed. Again, across the entire secondary, we are going to have speed on the field and be able to keep up with your offense. And then on our offensive side of things, between the 91 speed, I mean, our slowest player when it comes to skill positions, not including tight end, at Oklahoma State is our 90 speed halfback. So we have a 91 speed quarterback, a 90 speed halfback, then all of our receivers that are going to be on the field are 91 plus speed. For a tier 5 team, that is crazy. That is such an advantage. I'd be surprised. I guess, I don't know. We don't really see too many tier 5 teams in road to the college football playoff, but I don't know why you'd use anybody but Oklahoma State. If you're really just, for whatever reason, grinding and just want to win games, Oklahoma State, I think, is by far the best tier 5 team. The most fun tier 5 team is either going to be Navy or Rice. The spread option offense, a lot of the same triple option kind of ideas, but out of pistol or shotgun versus the under center flex bone stuff that we see with the service academies. I think that's really it for the tier 5 teams that I like. UAB actually has a really good playbook too. 62 overall defense though, so as long as you don't mind that. Lowest overall team in the game, the UMass Minutemen. They are our last team for the campus tour for a reason. 0-12 on the season, just a total disaster going out there in Massachusetts. Western Kentucky is also a very good tier 5 team. They do have, I think, a 96 speed wide receiver and a very air raid offense, but a very, very good option down here at tier 5. So that is all of the updated tiers. Those are my favorite teams, at least in tiers 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, tiers 1 and 2, pick whoever the heck you want. Go with Miami, Ohio State, Oregon. Tier 2, I mean, Duke, BYU, Florida, Louisville, Michigan, they're all going to be pretty dang good. But when you get down to tier 3, 4, and 5, if you want a little bit of a different challenge, if you want to go up against some different teams, Rutgers in tier 3, North Texas or UCLA in tier 4, Oklahoma State in tier 5, all going to be fantastic options for you. So I know this was, a little bit different. Usually we don't do a video on Friday, but I just couldn't believe when I loaded in today and saw they actually updated the tiers. I was so excited. I had to do something for it. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this little walkthrough of the first update we've had of this kind all year. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Duke video, and also tomorrow, by the way, Saturday, January 31st, we are going to be live streaming our final 10 games of the campus tour. And that's going to be over on Twitch, twitch.tv/oldmantrying28. I'll put a link for that down in the description, starting about noon central, and however long it takes, hopefully, unless it takes like past midnight, then I'm probably going to have to tap out and go to bed. But we're going to try to get through all 10 tomorrow, January 31st. So I hope to see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you guys later. Until then, take it easy.